Alrighty, it's time for some more Plan B Terraform. I am loving this game. I wonder if today we're going to see any green come into our world. Because as it was, we had just passed the 3,000 population mark, aiming for 10k, I think, for the next one. Yep. Got some trains going. I just did one line just to test out how they work. And I think the goal now is what we faffed about with last time is I wanted to get some like distributed productions and things going on, because we now, we're starting to eat up all our resources in patches. So I think it is important that we do that. I don't know what technologies we're going to be getting, but I think it's important to just do it now. But let's look at our biggest city over here, 1,890 and growing. I just noticed we've got some red in New Istanbul over here, which means, okay, this needs waste disposal now. Okay. Again, I'm not sure the best way to do this, but I don't really like doing it up in the ice caps. I feel like it's a weird place to do it. But let's try this again. Okay, so we want a depot Mark II. This one is going to be refining iron ore. Factory produce steel from iron ore. Let's just check what other things make stuff out of steel. Okay, mechanical parts and reinforced concrete. So as far as I can tell, that's the sort of range you get around your Mark II ports. Oops. And we need an input at one point. Then to be able to reach these and use them. So we want to make mechanical parts. And we also just want to have steel for use. So we can have steel for use at the top. We might have to replace, because I can get two. Cannot get that one. Unless we do it as a 3-step process like that. So one for just the steel, one for the mechanical parts, and one for making the reinforced concrete. I'm not sure if that's enough production. See, the problem with that is if we just use one spot, it's not going to reach. Actually, what we would want to do is think about this better. So we can have input coming out over here, storing iron. Now the range of 2. So if you have one input and the 4 outputs, we can get access to every point like that. Then we would have to have a shuttling system, so to take them to an additional one. And then the train can come out and do its thing. So Let's just check if this basic idea works. There's probably more efficient ways to do this, and I'm sure you could tell me. Okay, so there's not enough throughput to take a whole train. Waste disposal is not working correctly. We're not getting rid of enough. Don't know how the city will react to rail lines. Will it block growth or something? So I'm going to try and give it a wide berth. But we're going to want to bring our steel in from, well, steel and aluminium in from the city. So close. Well, that's a little bit annoying, isn't it? Anyway, okay, so we want to get steel from here. It is the annoyance about this system is you can only have one per station technically, unless we set up like feeders. Well, I'm still working this out. We will find a better way to do things. We can put probably like 5 trains in there. We need to get rid of the aluminium though. That's causing trouble. The aluminium is most used for high-tech parts. And depots. So it's mostly the high-tech parts and then just used in a couple of buildings. The high-tech parts need polymer bars which need carbon. I just want to try something a little bit different. Let's see. So we want to make polymer bars. Again, let's just make the little grid of the maximum distance we can get. Of course, we need to cut out to get additional storage in there. No. We want carbon to come in the center. If we made it one that had polymers go in the center, the maximum it can reach would be out over there. So it wouldn't be able to get any of those. But then from the outside, we should be able to reach all the output and inputs like that. So maybe that's a more efficient way of doing it, because then we can have our inputs and outputs on each side like that. And we could do multiple stops that could reach the different storages. So we could do up to 5 inputs and outputs, all able to reach that. Works for this, which is 1 input, 1 output. It would be a little bit different for something with 2 inputs and outputs. But for this, it would work, I think. So what are the actual rates of the atmosphere extractor? 12 annually. I don't know what that means speed-wise. Because in a way, we wouldn't actually need to have an input there if we just had like that. But I'm not sure that's enough to actually feed this whole thing. It's probably going to be more one-to-one, and these need 3. A very different system for this, but let's see how it works. Looks like trains do overlap. So the problem with this system is there's only one receiving. So that means it's a little bit slow. Let's see the waste as some of them return out. So that's definitely not ideal. Like this system where we've got multiple working might be better because there's loading and unloading. High-tech parts need aluminium bars and polymer bars. So we need to bring our aluminium now to mix with our polymer bars from here. So this is going to bring in aluminium bars, polymer bars, and it's going to produce high-tech parts. So let's see if we can do a system where we can use 3. So all of these need to be able to reach each one of these. So we can go up to 2 away from each. So that's actually, I think, just going to be like that because nothing can be further than that. So maybe that's a more efficient way of doing things, just surrounding one block, especially where we're using multiple inputs. This uses twice as much aluminium bars as polymers. High-tech. Let's actually just swap these around because we've got our polymers up here. I'm trying to keep them not relying on these individual things, but close to them. Just because we're going to potentially have these from other inputs as well. That looks so ugly. So we can bring polymers from there to here. We would only be able to have 2 inputs here. So that might need optimization as well. We're at the point where we want to start like scaling things up. You know, we're getting... Feels like that's something that should be important, is to scale things up, especially these automation games. You just got to keep scaling up. If we set the aluminium to go in a loop like that, then it will be able to reach multiple times around the side there. Oof, that's terrible. You want it to look slightly nice, you know? But now we can take our overloaded aluminium over here and bring that in. Now I'm assuming there's going to be some further tech, you know, like Mob 3s or something. But I am not certain. Or maybe like bigger storage or something, you know. But I have no idea. So I'm just going with what we got. So at least they don't block each other. It's not Transport Tycoon. Don't have to worry about signaling and stuff. That would be a whole other can of worms. It's definitely a prettier way to do it, but I just want to at least get it working. Reinforced concrete and high-tech parts are low. Yeah, so the reinforced concrete is something we really need to start getting ramped up production on. I wouldn't mind like a chart of all the different resources. So you can just be like, okay, you know, if you don't know them, you know, mechanical parts, what can I use them for? Because what I'm doing is I'm just checking like factory uses mechanical parts, assembly parts. Ice extractor is something that we should start looking at soon. I do not know how the city reacts to train tracks yet. I'm assuming they're going to block productions of new buildings. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. And we don't want to get these touching because that will mess up our system. Though technically they could. I just wanted to make it clear to myself that we can join it up over there like that. So now we can say a train can bring in high-tech parts to our city. And we could probably reuse this perhaps for recycling. The one line per square thing is probably my biggest annoyance with the game, but I guess it also adds that little bit of like puzzling. So not necessarily bad, it's just, you know, difficult. Let's set this up to 2 trains. Yeah, so I think the throughput thing of just having one thing serving this is not necessarily ideal. Perhaps the, you know, the wide long system might be better, where we would have, you know, has production on one side and something like that. I don't know. We just want to get this city growing again. See, having multiple depots just makes loading and unloading so much faster. Again, I don't look at the wikis and too much in depth of other people playing because I like to sort of figure these things out myself. Once I do like a second playthrough or something, then I like looking at the optimized things. But you know, half the fun is figuring out these things for yourself at first. For me, at least. You're watching this, so I'll just shut up right now. Okay, the reinforced concrete is now our next thing. We should also be able to start shipping these into our other cities. But I think once we get the reinforced concrete, then we can start thinking about that. So reinforced concrete was steel and concrete. So we've got capacity for steel out here and in here. So this is our steel line here. Let's produce a concrete line up here. So concrete is 3 sulfur. Now we're going to use a lot of concrete, so maybe we do the long thing over here. Because this would be like a tileable thing, which is always pretty good to do in these kind of games. Now when we've got it, like when we did this was just no inputs because it's the atmospheric thing. So we need to do a slightly different thing here where we're doing an input. So if we do like offset inputs like that, you would have train loop in and a train loop out. I think for now it'll do. Okay. So this is where we're going to bring in our sulfur. And out with our concrete. We messed that up. I'm trying to think of how to do a like multiple tiling factories. And this way, if we had one train come here for concrete, it can serve both those points. We do the same. We've got one that comes here for steel, and we would have to have another one up there. So you could create a complex network, but it's not very efficient because we're duplicating things. There's definitely a better way than this. Yeah, it's not right because we would have then different sided blocks. in different areas. We'd have to have a 3x3 over there, which doesn't work for anything that we want to do unless we're using that as like a transport nexus, but that just becomes crazy. Looks kind of pretty though. There's definitely an optimal way of doing things. I might just leave this as is, just visual reference to myself. I don't know. I think we're only going to use the one for now. We use those 2 points, we can use the concrete from everywhere. So from you to there, concrete. That we can take from there and plonk that there. So that's a very strong shape. Yeah, our warming has slowed down a lot. We do need to start looking at doing the ice and the nitrogen. What is tetroxide or whatever it was they use? Trifluoride. Nitrogen trifluoride. What was it? CFCs? Carbon tetrafluorides or something, wasn't it? The big global warming thing. Well, not the ozone layer destroyer. Carbon, chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, that's what it is. And then we can have another train that comes from here and takes the iron and plonks it down over there. I mean steel. And then we can take that and bring it into our city. We've got this train track already over here, so we can make another supply center pretty much on the edge here, and we can put in, instead of high-tech parts, this is going to be reinforced concrete. So we can take a train from here and say, this goodies, come unload here, reinforced concrete. I can tell you to do 2 trains. And then that should jump up the production in our city, because I believe that's the only thing that we held back by now. Yeah, we've got a huge storage of high-tech parts there, full of oxygen. I wonder if we get to a point when we start terraform, I'm assuming we won't need to bring oxygen into our cities anymore. Then it'll probably be something else. Like, we don't do anything with food or anything at the moment, so I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. Like, you can ramp up to some extreme production loops in this kind of system. Like, our population has been pretty stable for quite some time now, so we need to really get some things going in. Oh yeah, we need to get some sulfur in here to make the concrete, so we've got some over here. Right past it, that's fine. Fantastic. We just need that to ramp up production, and then we should be doing good. How's the city looking? Waste disposal is good. I think this is the right way to do it. Like, the details of my implementation might not be perfect, but you know, distributing stuff like this is the way to go. So let's see. Yeah, we got a good load there coming in. Yep, we're growing now, and look at that number fly up. I really like how the city develops. Like, all city centers now have like paved areas, skyscrapers. They've even got these helical wind turbines now. It's really pretty. And then we're going to need to start doing this for all of our cities. because we've just been focusing on our first one so far. Waste disposal now is getting a little bit heavy. So again, what might happen is we might have to start doing a centralized waste disposal sort of thing, where we just take the waste to a central location and then distribute it, just like we'll be doing this. That is the way. Still interested to see what happened when the city grows. Okay, look, it does jump over the lines. Okay, so it doesn't block the city growth. That's cool. I haven't actually tried to build something through the city because that feels like it would be a bad idea, but I don't know if the game lets you or not. Okay, so reinforced concrete is still iffy. It's green for now, but it runs out a little bit. Maybe we just need to have more trains. We've currently only got 2. Let's put in 5. Yeah, I think we need more loops of this, or a different way of doing it, because I don't think... Maybe if we do stretch this out into a line, it might be better. So we've got this little system thingy, so let's just direct copy. Yeah, that doesn't work to stretch it out in the triangular shape. We would have to do it in the long way. But the problem with that is, okay, so that can go in there. Like that would be functional, but we would need to do so many different stops. Could we condense it into input outputs? So we've got the problem with that is that it doesn't reach. Like a 3-range depot would be like almost ideal. I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing or not. I think maybe this is still the best idea I've had so far for this. Interesting watching that train go where there's no line anymore. Okay, so something's gone over here. Oh, it doesn't like it that I removed a track that it had set up a line on. Rushing up to 6k in population in New Fukuoka. There we go, 6k. All in the green. Place is growing for now. Global population just hit 8k. New Fukuoka just hit 7k. Global population is now stagnating. Yeah, waste disposal is our main issue. If we put in maybe 20 trucks over here. Definitely doing a distributed system over here is going to be the long-term solution, but for now, I just want to get the... I mean, technically, I guess we could just put a waste disposal or 2 like that and not actually have to transport them. Yeah. Population globally is now over 9,000! It's mostly just the city, because now New Fukuoka just hit 8k. Global population is 10k. Just skyrocketing. Skyrocketing flight. Now the city supply is the limiting factor, and that is oxygen now. Okay, we can do that. We can up that to 20 trucks. I don't actually think it's the trucks that's the limiting factor at this point. I think it is the capacity to put it on vehicles. High-tech parts is limited. Yeah, the higher the population goes, the more intense it gets to do things over here. Yeah, waste disposal is not holding up over here. Aluminium trains, let's up that a little bit. I suppose one thing that you could do is like create like long strings of storage things, because they do move between each other, so we can make like long strings of things that intersect. So then we can have distance stations, and then we can like have moving up into productions.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
That might be like a more scalable long-term way of doing things. I'll need to give it a thunk. We're so close to 10k, come on. I think we're going to need to do a separate oxygen supply coming in on like the other side of the city somewhere. Ooh, we just ran out of these things. Yeah, we haven't actually been focusing on replenishing lost productions. Come on, I really want to hit 10k today. Come on, so close. Come on, we're so close. Yes, come on. Now it's reinforced concrete. 9,600 and 9,700. Yes, 9,900 and 9,996. 9,909. Yes! We did it. Level 12. Next objective, increase the temperature by 30 degrees. We have now unlocked organic waste, biodegradable material from the city. Compost, a manufactured product. Food, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Keep your population nourished. Uses compost and water. And then a greenhouse that produces food, produced using steel bars and polymer bars. Fantastic. Hence, release NF3 into the atmosphere to increase the temperature more. Oh yeah, level 12. Oh wait, we got another upgrade as well. Level 13. Reach a population of 1,000 in your second biggest city. We've already done that. Oh, ho, ho. That'll give us tempered steel, heat treated iron. Uses steel and nitrogen. I think normally you would use... Oh, no, that would work. Nitrogen would work. Dam elements. Blocks water. Oh, okay. That's going to be a thing soon. We're going to have to manage the environment, and a pumping station. Must be built over humid ground, not submerged in water. Ooh, things are going to get interesting. Things are going to get interesting. But that's going to have to be next time. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe next time you can join us for a bit of greenery. We'll see. Thanks for joining in. I really enjoy this game. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, join my Patreon if you really want to. Love you all. Bye.